Welcome to the Take Podcast, where we seek the news that isn't considered popular or relevant enough in today's media landscape, and some things that are. World news and topics from all continents, yes, even Antarctica, ranging from environmental, culture, politics, history, and economics. With that being said, I also like to give a shout out to a conscious hip hop artist from Wisconsin by the name of Waterstyle. Not only is she lyrically gifted, but she's also the producer of 612 Beats. So, thank you, Waterstyle, for what you contribute to the culture and definitely to the excellent music that people will be hearing right here on the Take Podcast and also on Patreon. So, without further ado, let's jump into this episode. And as always, feel free to reach out and keep this an interactive experience. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Take Podcast with your host, Sean D. James. And as you can see from this week's subject matter, it may be right here, right now, I'm going to say as a disclaimer, a bit of a touchy subject for some people. When I say touchy, I mean it might set some individuals off, stir up some emotional memories of potentially people they may have lost that were close to them. Maybe a person was a victim or had to defend themselves in a certain situation, or even could have been an aggressor in their past and, regret some things they've done in their past. If that's the case, then this is not the episode for you. I would suggest that you head to the Take Podcast profile page, scroll down the list, find something that might be a little more to your liking, and go from there. Or down in the description is also a link to the Take Podcast profile page on the Wisdom app, where you'll hear a couple different type of talks there, and it's also a great community over on that platform. For those that have been rocking with me from the beginning, thank you as always. Appreciate you, spending your time listening to what I have to say. And there will also be a Q&A at the bottom of this episode. I felt last week's episode of countries without extradition, that was more fitting to have a multiple choice poll result type of options. But this week's episode was definitely a Q&A, let people express their full thoughts on it. But without further ado, thank you once again. Ladies and gentlemen, let's dive on in. So, everybody talks about gun violence. We need to ban assault weapons. We need to ban handguns. Ban this and that. Stop the gun violence. Let's be honest. It's not gun violence that people want to stop. It's not plain old gun violence, but simply violence itself. People want to stop unscripted, uncontrolled, and outright unsightly violence. When I say unscripted violence, I mean reality TV, wrestling, movies, and TV shows. That is scripted violence. When I say controlled violence, I'm referring to combat sports like boxing, MMA, kickboxing, Muay Thai, karate, and any other form of combat sports. Controlled, regulated violence. Unsightly violence, well, it speaks for itself. But when you use the term gun violence, yeah, everyone gets laser focused, tunnel vision. Now, when we have something to focus on, we have a direct form of violence. Right there, front and center, full focus locked in. Therefore, here in the US, according to the CDC, we have a gun epidemic, right? Violence is being committed with a tool, either way, because that's all a gun and that's all a knife is, simply a tool. So when you hear people say, we need to get rid of all guns, we need to get rid of the guns, every single one of them, people are just going to resort to using another tool for the means of committing their objective. They're going to find what best suits that need. You want to get rid of a gun? They get a knife. You want to get rid of knives? Well, I guess we're going to go old school and get that baseball bat. Where's your team jersey at? You don't play sports? Well, time to go get my hammer. Let me go get a screwdriver. Oh my God. You know what? Screw it. I'm going to get the spoon out the kitchen. I'm going to find a tool that's going to get the job done. So I find it so hard to understand why people are so intent on reciting, we need to stop the gun violence. No, we need to stop all violence. How do we stop the violence? Let's focus on the root cause of said violence. Okay, well, where are the crimes at? What is the economy like? What is the economic structure like in this area? What are the family structures like? What is the healthcare system? How is that structured? Is it fair, good, poor, damn near non-existent, is excellent, 5-star hotel status? Okay. What is the transportation like? Is it pissy buses, homeless people who are not being taken care of? And that's another subject in itself. And people pretty much doing Uber and Lyfts across the board, or any other form of rideshare, depending on what country you live in. These are key points to look at. Another big one that for some reason I truly believe is overlooked, especially here in the US. What is the education system like? Why? Because these are key points to look at. Yet for some reason, it becomes a case of, no, we just need to focus on the guns. Here it is, we just had midterms, and the top subjects were guns, abortions, and let's throw climate change in there. But somehow the economy and inflation was a low talking point. The biggest issue most Americans and even countries dealing with high inflation like Sri Lanka, Argentina, and Turkey is putting food on the table, gas in the vehicle, People are living check to check and trying to figure out how much food is needed to nourish themselves, how far to travel due to gas prices and funds available. Oh, wait. And, we can't forget about those who use the laundromat. Well, there goes another expense. You see, for me, I look at it as abortion is going to be a state to state type of thing. I'm not for banning abortion. I'm pro choice. Just putting it out there. For me, that should realistically be up to you. But I can understand how states might want to throw certain limitations on things. And at that point, I go, hey, hear them out. Hear what they have to say. And work from there. I feel like the pro-life statement of you're killing kids, it's kind of funny. And I'm being honest, I mock it just like that when I hear somebody say it. Like, you're killing the kids, you're killing a life. And I say it's funny, seeing as there are so many kids that need to be adopted. And on the streets, living homeless or in shelters. And you want someone to bring another life into this world when they're struggling to even take care of themselves? I'll be honest. People go like, oh, you don't have kids yet? You don't have kids? Oh, where's the bank account at? You pitching in? No? Then fuck off. Now, on the other hand, people should be using, let's say, some form of protection instead of being out here fucking raw. Oh, it was a one night. I didn't know what happened. Oh, I met him at the club. Yo, she was bad, bro. I had to get up in that. Yeah, don't hit me up when this random chick just happened to find you again and hit you for child support. Just saying, we know how that can go. So, can we stop and look at the statistics of what are the primary ways people are killed and the type of guns used? Handguns, knives / sharp objects, hand and feet, blunt objects like a bat, bricks, hell, even a laptop can be considered for this category. But we only get told about the big, bad, high capacity gun that kills people. Yeah, so does a gun that holds less rounds with good aim. Let's be real for a minute. The people that are going around with these so-called assault weapons have a rifle and most of the time a handgun. 30 rounds in the rifle, 16 to 18 in the handgun, depending on the type of gun they chose to use. Yet, when a killing starts and ends, you hear, in this most recent mass shooting, there were 2 to 5 people killed and 3 to 7 people injured. We're going to you. Can you give us more of an update on the scene? Then you get to pause. Then that person starts saying, well, witnesses said this, witnesses that. And back to you in the studio. You mean to tell me 46 to 48 rounds, bullets, projectiles, objects moving at a high speed, however you choose to frame the terminology, and all you did was 2 to 3 bodies, 4 to 7 injured. That's your body count. Seriously? 46 to 48, and we're looking at a 2 to 3, 4 to 7? Seriously? Yes, I know the loss of lives can be traumatic and a tragic thing. Whether you witness it, hear about it, if it's happened to you, I get that. But it really gets, and I mean it really gets me, at the low numbers. Yet the numbers is what's constantly used when pointing at the ammo capacity of guns. So with a 10 round limit, 10 rounds, is that limit going to make a true difference? That is what I want to know. Because if we're going off these numbers, that these high capacity rounds, these high capacity magazines, if you're telling me that 10 is some, is a random arbitrage number that's thrown out there. If you're telling me that 10 rounds is going to just reduce the crimes, prove that to me. Because as far as I'm concerned, 10 rounds just means I'm going to have more magazines on me. More magazines, more clips for my gun. If it's a 10 round limit, but I want to go do this evil shit, well, I'm going to be like every other criminal and just have illegal shit. Yet, here, being a law-abiding citizen and following the laws, I'm going to go have a 10 round magazine for my handgun. I'm going to have 2 extra, just in case. Yet, I'm going to have a criminal hopefully breaking into my home by themselves and think, oh, they got 10, I got 10. This should be a fair fight. Yeah, sure. Let me take my ass over to Philadelphia and let's see how fast they pull out a Glock with a switch. No aiming ass motherfuckers let off. Let's see how that works out. For an example, at the beginning of October in Thailand, a police sergeant who was suspended in the start of the year, so in January of this year, 2022, at the time of this recording, for drug use, had took his pistol and a knife and killed 35 people within an hour. I don't give a fuck what country you are in. When a police sergeant who is suspended for drug use comes out 10 months later after his suspension with his gun, he comes with his gun and a knife and kills 35 people within an hour? Yeah, I don't want to hear nothing. That's a handgun. And it's Thailand. Certain countries have limitations on the actual service pistols that people use as law enforcement, let alone what you can have in your home. So, my man took 35 lives in an hour. Okay. Now, that sounds tragic. Yeah, it sounds tragic until you hear, first he started at a daycare center, killing 22 children and the 2 adults that was there. He then fled to his car shooting out the window, hitting people, to finally get home and kill his wife and child. Yeah. Yeah. In total, around 35 lives lost with a handgun and a knife. But, this is all because it's believed to be a drug induced murder spree. I don't give a damn. Two shits or a fuck. 22 kids. It's you know what? It's not kids. He killed 22 babies. Fuck that shit. That's baby. That's toddlers. That I'm keeping it real. When you hit them double digits, it's like hit double digits. I'm not even gonna count puberty kicking in. How old are they? You 12? We could go biblical to say 12, 13, the puberty hit in. You're an adult. Fuck, you're a teenager. We could mix that up in there. You're a kid at like 6 to 12. That's your kid phase. 12 and up, you're a teenager. 18, in most countries, that 17, 18, you're legally an adult. He went to a daycare center. Those aren't kids. Those are toddlers. We need to lower that age to the proper terminology. He killed toddlers. 22 of them. And the 2 adults that was there trying to protect those kids. You're not going to tell me they fucking ran. Like, I left the kid. Fuck that. They'll stop. Bang, bang. Stab, stab. Poke, poke. Motherfucker went crazy. But to have been 24 bodies right there. His wife and child, so now it's 26. And I believe they counted him a part of the 35. So they called it. Okay, so that's the 25 right there. 10 more bodies. 8. So how he killed 8 more people? Oh, when he was shooting out his window, he caught 8 more bodies. Holy shit. Skilled. Possibly drugged up. And only had a knife and a handgun. Wow. How about on December 1st, a 15-year-old in North Carolina took a shotgun and a knife, that good old reliable knife, and went on a 2-mile spree after starting with taking his brother's life. Yeah, shot his brother and then stabbed the body up. He then left and killed an off-duty police officer who was actually on his way to work. Yeah. Ran into the woods while dressed in camouflage on a running trail, caught 2 more women, caught another woman, I believe, in between getting to the wooded trail and killing the off-duty officer who was on his way to work. While the police were looking for him with a search dog, he was laying prone on his stomach. They knew he was in a shed. It was said over the radio. They were about to walk toward him and bang. Caught the officer right in the knee. He hits the ground. They open fire. And they spent a couple hours trying to figure out if they actually hit him, if he was dead, if that was the body, what was it? Because they was just out in the open. If they try to rush in, they were going to get hit because they didn't know what else he had on him. They know they was told, but they know what else he had on him. Okay. So we got a Thailand, North Carolina in the U.S. Wow, this is getting kind of out there. This is why I said in the beginning, the disclaimer. if you feel this is gonna trigger you, don't listen. If you feel it's gonna be a little too sensitive, do not listen to this episode. Now, if we jump back to Thailand, this is where things get a little interesting here. Because Thailand isn't known for their gun crimes. The last mass shooting that they had was a military motherfucker who was described as disgruntled. Yeah, we have somebody part of the Royal Army who felt disgruntled. Once again, this is the words of the people that gave their statements. But he killed 29 people and he injured 57 before being killed in a 17-hour standoff. It took 17 hours to take down one soldier. Oh, fuck me. You know people gonna be in their head thinking Rambo. You know people gonna be thinking Rambo with that shit. So, the people that are trained to protect us actually lost their shit and unleashed their aggression on us. Yeah, wow. You know, don't worry. It's okay. We the people don't need firearms of any type for our protection. Nor do we need bullet-resistant vests, or more commonly known as, bulletproof vests. Even though they're not bulletproof, because nothing is truly bulletproof. They're simply just bullet resistant. Up to a degree on grades. But once again, we don't need that either. We don't need none of it. Because what harm is going to come to us? Yet somehow the hot topic, and I'm not talking about the store in the mall, but the hot topic of discussion, ban guns. Vote for your favorite politician and their point of views. Why? Because yours aren't important enough. Come on, people. We all know that. And the economy. What? Who said that? No. Who said that? Don't let them think about the economy. Change it. Change it to equality for all. No, you stupid? Sorry. Okay. Let's go with pay raises. Yeah, that works. That's right. Okay. So we'll go with pay raises. This way people will think that's more important. Yeah. Let's go with that. Yeah. That is my point of view on when it comes to politicians on shit. It's not a case of like, okay, what do people say they want? Let's do this. No, it's look, this is what we're gonna tell them. Let's push this in their face. It'll work. Yeah, it'll work. Alright, cool, let's go with that. I laugh when I see the protest signs with the silhouette of a gun and it says no more ARs or assault weapons. But it looks like an M4 or M16. I mean, I think you want to change that sign to be more, a little more accurate. You might even see an AK variant to be, You might even see an AK variant protest sign if you're lucky. But majority of the time, those signs look like an M4 and it says, stop the ARs. And I would just be like, man, we're gonna end up like motherfucking Canada, boy. I swear. The US is gonna be the next Canada. Get rid of the assault weapons. Get rid of all the rifles and just keep the shotguns and handguns. Less than 2 years later, all handguns are now gone. Like, what? They coming for them shotguns next. Watch. Canada gonna be like, yep, no more guns at all. We don't even have paintball guns or BB guns. No guns. More people die by handguns. Yes, handguns. That's the reason why I pointed out Canada. Start with, that assault weapon. Then statistics show, oh, more people actually die by handguns. Really? Let's get rid of them sons of bitches. Yeah. Trudeau and his staff, they knew what the fuck they was doing. But, the big, bad, publicized assault weapon of mass battlefield destruction is the threat. Even though, once again, it's a semi-auto, not a full auto weapon. What do I mean by it's a semi-auto? I mean, it only fires as fast as your finger can pull that trigger. Just like a handgun, a shotgun, and every other semi-auto weapon. For me, the gun violence topic is like the Coliseum. There's a lot of problems going on in people's lives. But when they go to that Coliseum, they see that violence. That controlled violence. Just like sports, all that shit goes away. You don't focus on nothing but that one topic. Because they see all their frustrations, all their angst, everything that's built up in them. With that pack, that tribe mentality where people just like them. All that energy vibrating together. And it's being released in a controlled manner by another individual. They got their release. See, once again, you don't focus on nothing but that one topic, that controlled violence. And here we go, gun violence. Now we have something to focus on, a certain type of violence to focus on. With that being said, let's give it our undivided attention. Seriously, people, stop it. Focus on the actual cause for the violence. Focus on the demographics. Focus on the environment of the individuals that they are living in. Focus on the actual issues that's resorting and that weapon becoming a tool. Or should I say, the tool becoming a weapon? I guess it's all a matter of perspective on how you want to frame it for your cause to get your point of view across. Yeah, that's pretty much the case. See, then we end up with the topic of raising the legal age from 18 to 21. Like, this is really going to be a problem solver. Yeah. Hey, you know what we're going to do? We're just going to raise the age. Because, it's like alcohol. Nobody drinks alcohol that's underage. Nobody underage is going to have a gun. Come on, it's against the law. Yeah, sure. You're completely 100% right. You know what the problem is? How many times have we been, we've seen the don't bully and treat each other fairly. Treat someone the way you want to be treated campaigns in middle schools and high schools. We continuously hear about these fresh out of school shooters But raising these limits won't fix their murderous intent. Like, seriously. I remember when they had the no online bullying. Like, that was an issue. I remember being in high school and they had sexting was an issue. And I said, what the hell is sexting? What? It's like when you send text messages, but with nudity and they talking about having sex. Like, that's an issue? And what areas and what communities is that an issue? Because that is mind-blowing. That really? Like, I know people do it, but like, who is getting stuff passed around? Like, what? I think that's in certain areas. That's a certain issue. You know, that's why I said, how's the education system in certain areas? How's the economy in certain areas? Key points, key problems, key causes. Well, yeah, get to that root cause. Maybe that'll help, fix things. Here we are with the same issues, and they've only gotten worse. And the cause is the guns. Okay, take them away, and we start hearing about knife crimes of the UK and the US. Look, if you want to stay in a bubble, confined to your little echo chamber, and repeat the same shit about how the guns are the problem, the tool that is being used is the problem, well, then you need some serious mental detoxing. Seriously. Because no matter what the people want to frame it as is these white boys coming out of high school with this murderous intent. No, it's these inner city black and brown kids that are gangbanging and shooting each other. It doesn't matter how they're killing one another. What matters is, what is the cause of their aggression, their murderous intent to harm their communities? What has, desensitized them to life? That is the issue. That is the problem. So when I hear, once again, we need to get rid of all guns. We need to get rid of the guns. We need to reduce magazine capacity. We need to raise the laws. We need stricter gun laws. This and that. No, you want to put a Band-Aid over a fucking decapitated arm and say, that should fix the problem. You're trying to paper over a big ass hole in that sheetrock wall. That is the problem. So, ladies and gentlemen, that stuck through this entire talk / rant. Let's just be honest. I'm gonna be honest with that. Like, come on, let's be honest here. Thank you for listening. I would love to hear your input in the Q&A over on the Take Podcast page, or even an email. As always, the show links are in the description. And with that being said, in all seriousness, gotta end it positive. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy the day and stay prosperous. Peace.
Out for the